Now we're going to talk about judgment. Let me talk to you about why God does talk about this, why he brings judgment sometimes. Last week, we described this whole thing about the world being good and beautiful, right? But the world's now been vandalized. Every so often, somebody takes it upon themselves to just vandalize the world in a very profound way. And we can look back through history and see people like this. We can see that like Adolf Hitler was a person like this, who destroyed 6 million people and destroyed them. And so judgment is a thing that happens when God comes, not because he desires to do harm. Judgment is a way that we reconcile the world that is broken and been marred by us. God comes in, he says, I'm gonna do a hard thing to you so that you turn back around and you remember the right direction. You go, well, that doesn't seem right to me. Guys, that's the entire system of justice in every country, in every part of the planet. Sometimes when somebody acts and behaves in a very inappropriate way, we have to lock them away and say, you can no longer play with everyone else. Why? Because you vandalized the world in a terrible way. And if that were not the case, that was not a thing, then unrighteousness would run and rule the world. But so what God does is sometimes he fixes things, he makes them right. So judgment to the world because of things that cause people to stumble. In other words, like vandalizing my world. These are people who are pulling other people away from God. Such things must come. And it doesn't mean that they must come because I'm gonna bring them to you. He means this, that because the world has been vandalized, all of you, all of us will suffer. And sometimes the suffering has nothing to do with you at all. You don't always need to personalize every bit of suffering. If you've made bad choices and you know you made bad choices, then maybe that's on you. But sometimes hard things come into our lives because the world is broken by sin, not because you're personally responsible for everything in the world. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to stumble. Such things must come, but woe to the person through whom they come. But if you're a person who commits their life to the destruction of God's great creation, then eventually God will destroy back. And that is to set things right, not because he desires to destroy anyone. In fact, the Bible's very clear about that. He says, I wish that none would perish, but that all would repent and turn to me.